Welcome back, fellow jungle gappers. I want you to imagine for a second that you're playing this Shyvana and you have 3 losing lanes and you were just excruciatingly being 1v1'd by the enemy AP Ivern who is down a level. So obviously this is not feeling too good. And this is a situation that from time to time we find ourselves in. And so in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about how you can end the game going 19-3 and completely 1v9ing from that point of being killed by the AP Ivern. So let's get right into it. And the very first thing is your mindset, guys. The understanding that the enemy is also bad and they will also make some interesting plays. So whenever you're behind, the main thing you want to think about is that you don't want to overforce. You don't want to make, emotional decisions. You have to understand that, your job is to stay composed until then. And so in this game, as we can see here, we just full cleared the top, we recalled, and we just ran bot and we punished the enemy for overextending. And because we didn't go for like a top play, because we didn't go for a random, grub start, because we didn't do anything random, right? We were simply just recalling to go towards the bot scuttle. We just picked up some free kills. And obviously, the next thing that I want to talk about is like, you don't even have to win every single game, guys. The amount of times where I'm coaching players and, they're saying, what's the profound thing we need to learn here, right? You don't need to win every single game. You just need to get 55 wins and 45 losses. And if the enemy team is legitimately T1 reborn, they have no mistakes, perfect gameplay, you just say unlucky, go next, you take a few things from the game and you move on. Just very quickly, guys, if you are already part of the Jungle Academy, you can skip here. However, if you are not part of the Jungle Academy and are someone who wants to fast track to their rank goals within the Jungle Academy, you will have access to coaching sessions with me where we are going to pinpoint your biggest weaknesses in the form of learning objectives. Okay, there's going to be a bunch of games like this. I'm sure this is not the first rodeo for you in this kind of game, right? And they can't all just be instant losses. There are definitely ways that you can still win. You will also have access to in-depth champion guides, as well as an entire community of like-minded junglers to help on your entire journey. Check links in the description below to get $10 off. Use code LEO. Hope to see and work with some of you there. Now let's continue the video. Okay. And the next thing that's about to happen here, which is tempo. Okay, League of Legends is a turn-based game. So as you can see in this clip here, after we make that bot play, we immediately go for the Drake here. And this is a very, very important thing because I get asked this question a lot about, why didn't you take the Drake here? Why didn't you recall here? So tempo is everything in the game, in League of Legends. And because my team had died first, right? My bot lane was the one who died first in this play that we just saw. And so my team actually died first and we actually have tempo. And obviously this is a bit of a judgment call as well. I am playing Shyvana in this game. And, we do take Drakes pretty quickly, especially, having the form for a little bit. Even though I think, I lost it here. And so obviously this is a judgment call, right? But yeah, tempo is the next thing here. League is turn-based. They made a play on my bot lane. We're tracking the enemy's tempo. And so if we thought here, we don't really want to risk this, that's fine. We could just recall there or we could just take the scuttle crab for a second. Okay. So the second thing here is tempo. Tempo. Now, the very third thing that's going to start right here, guys. We've all been in this situation. Your team is pinging you. Your team is getting caught. The most important thing, I cannot stress this enough in a losing game, is do not be influenced by your team. I know some games that, you're not following your Senna's ping here. He's going to follow you around like a jungle pet. So be it. Okay, so be it if Senna or whoever is pinging you here follows you around. Because when I was playing this game, I was like, what is my Jinx? What is my team actually doing here? I was so shocked from this Jinx's gameplay. I just had to look away. And so the most important thing here, guys, do not be influenced by your team. Let them die. Don't follow bad pings. Like a good analogy, a good way I always use to teach my students is like, if you're trying to escape the rank that you're in, listening to pings permanently is not, you're going to play to they're gold players, right? So you're following gold level decision making. And if you're following gold level decision making or plat or whatever rank you play at, you're going to stay that rank forever, right? You need to make your own decision. So it doesn't mean that you can't agree with your teammates if you think so, but your decision has to come from a place of that you're making the decision to stay there and fight. Okay? So do not be influenced by your team. And as you can see here, even in this clip, we are still watching the enemy team if they go for some interesting plays. So again, the default play here is I want to go back to my camps. I also don't have ult. Shyvana is one of those great champions that I would highly recommend to play pretty much until, like, I don't know, Diamond, which is absolutely broken right now. But we're still watching the fight here, guys. It's important to make that, you know, to know the difference between I am grouping or I am helping and I'm farming. And this is obviously the hardest part about jungling and about League of Legends is seeing like, okay, well, is there something here? Is there or is there not? Should I just keep farming? To be honest here, I should have just kept farming. Which is why I take the Spink and I'm like, okay, never mind, nothing happens here. So it's also okay to just be like, oh man, I made a mistake. You know, I made a mistake here. I grouped somewhere and I chose wrong. And this is a little bit of an int check. You know, if you know my content by now, you know about the int check. So when the enemy team is making some interesting plays and we now get Dragon Form, once again, simply just playing off enemy mistakes. I'm not forcing any plays. I'm not overly trying to compensate for my team dying. We're just simply playing like you know, I like to make this example a lot. Like the difference between playing from behind and ahead is that, you know, when you're ahead, 8 out of 10 things will work. But when you're playing from behind, like you have 2 out of 10 opportunities. You still will have opportunities, but the problem is that if you try and go for too many opportunities, you won't be strong enough to go for those other opportunities, right? So again, if I had died there with my Jinx, with my team here, then I wouldn't be in position to take these kills mid. And now all of a sudden, right? Again, look at the scoreboard. You know, I get asked a lot, like, you didn't really, you know, when I make a video about this, it's like, yo, you didn't really have inting lanes. You know, you don't have a 0 and 20 Mordekaiser or whatever it may be. But this is just a game where we are behind. We are losing. I'm the only guy strong. Again, you guys have been in this position before. So the very next thing we're going to be talking about is that we want to just keep farming. As you can see here, right? We just keep farming, right? We go here, we take this wave, we keep farming, Yep, we take some CS there. So a lot of the time as well when I coach is that I see people in the mid game especially, we just start grouping too much, okay? You should never stop farming. It's the same thing. If you think that a play is high percentage, you should go there and do it over farming. If you think that it's, you know, again, if it's a guaranteed kill, if it's a guaranteed dragon, if it's a guaranteed enemy camp, yeah, you can skip your camps and do it. So we recall here, okay? We just simply recall, we keep farming. We're going to be talking about uptime and downtime. And now it comes execution. So I'm just going to give you guys the honest truth here, okay? The honest truth is that to win an unwinnable game, you will have to fight very, very well, okay? It cannot all just be decision making. It cannot all just be macro. You need to be able to fight well. And in saying that, right, that's a very, you know, that's a very broad statement. Just fight well. The main thing I teach the players that I coach and what people have found a lot of success from is that you can fight, you can test limits, okay? You can test limits as long as you're making objective decisions. So for example, if I am going for this bot lane play right now, so, you know, I'm Thanos, I've got 2 items, I'm level 11, I have my flash, I have my ult. So if I went for this play based on, I'm going to lose the game if I don't do this, and that makes me make the play over the fact of me saying, I think I can just win this play, there's a big difference, okay? Because if I make this play from an objective standpoint, I can learn from it. I can say, okay, well, why did I not win this play? Because they had flash, because I wasn't as strong as I thought I was, I did less damage than I thought, I was more squishy than I thought. All these things are good for your progression as a player. But if you make this play off the fact of, my team was pinging me to do it, or if I didn't do it, I was going to lose, you don't really learn much, do you? You just learn that, oh, I shouldn't make emotional decisions, right? And I know that's very, very hard in such a, you know, mental game like League of Legends. But everything combined up until this point has allowed me to be strong enough for this fight. And it's a little bit, again, about the turn-based thing, I will say here, right? The enemy team makes a turn here. I wasn't even part of the play. But it's like rinse and repeat, right? It's just like the enemy team are also bad. Like, your team is bad, but the enemy team is also bad, right? So you have to remember that too. Like, your team is inting, so is their team. Okay, and there's going to be plenty of opportunities. Again, this is just the main thing I see in coaching. When I'm coaching, you know, hundreds and hundreds of players, guys, the main thing is that we just compensate. We just compensate. And then because we've compensated so many times this game from our team dying, we're not strong enough to take this fight. But because I did not compensate, because I kept farming, I now am strong enough to make this, you know, crazy 1v3 play. Shout out to Shyvana, again, broken champion. So let's keep going. So let's do with execution, okay? Again, you know, we want to really make sure it's an objective decision. Okay, so let's talk about the next point, when to not fight. So this game, you really had it all. It had the full package of playing from behind. So as you can see here, the Drake is spawning in 55 seconds. I am on the top side, and my Azir gets caught. So, you know, a lot of times, guys, the game is not going to play out exactly how you imagined it, okay? And you need to adapt. So you need to accept reality and play with the hand you've been dealt. So the hand I've been dealt here is that most likely, because we are also, even though Azir is only dead for 16 seconds here, we are just behind. Like, in terms of gold, we are just behind. Caitlyn is 7.6k gold. Jinx is 5.4. Mid lane is 6.1. Azir is... So we are just weaker. I cannot make up the difference currently. Okay, currently I cannot make up the difference. And the thing about you having 2 Drakes, okay? So, I obviously didn't show the first Drake, but this was just, some Shyvana things, full clearing the bot. A little bit of tempo, moves for moves. Ivan made a play. I made a play for Drake. Because we have 2 Drakes and we are in a very, very strong position in terms of dragons, it actually gives me and my team actually a lot more time. And so trading can be one of the most powerful things you can do in a losing game. Obviously, if you don't have 2 Drakes and it's their 3rd dragon, well, that's just a bit, it is what it is. Again, you don't need to win every single game. You just need to play 1% better from your losses. So take a look at my gold here. This is the strongest play that you can potentially even make, because they get 1 Drake here and a kill on Azir. Look how much we get, okay? So we get a top... So look at my gold here. 9.4k gold. Take a look at the sequence. Take a look at the round. They get Drake, okay? We get top tower, and we get Gromp and Wolves. Now, 9.4 to 10.4. So I just got 1,000 gold for a dragon. And obviously, I'm also denying them gold. And Mord is also getting gold, right? So trading can be one of the strongest tools you can make when playing from behind. Cannot stress it enough. Trading, waiting for a better opportunity. The best way I can describe this, guys, is that this dragon fight, maybe it was, I'll be generous, maybe it was a 50-50. 50% chance we win, which I'm being very generous. I think it's much less than that because my team is so far behind. But even if this was a 50-50 play here, we can make up for that by trading and getting stronger and getting more gold. And maybe they mess up more and maybe they int more. Of course, a little bit of spoiler alert, they do. Trading, okay? Trading is one of the strongest things you can possibly do. All right, so now we talk about uptime. Okay, so in this round, we actually talk about what grouping will look like. And if you've seen any of my other videos, uptime, downtime, this is like the cheat code to the mid game. This is when all your team's tempo lines are up, okay? Or at least on the same line. So take a look here, okay? Mord is basing, actually. So, we kind of have to wait for Mord, but I don't know if he, TPs or something here. Well, he has TP, okay? So he has TP. He can cheat the numbers and the tempo. So we also have nothing else to do. We also want to play for the scuttle. Okay, so in the uptime, we want to protect waves, and we always want to have an objective in mind. Okay, that objective, by the way, guys, that can be a scuttle. That can be control. That can be anything here, right? That can just be killing, or protecting a wave, for example, right? When people contest waves, I know that we weren't able to in this case, but it can just be getting us out of control. That can be your objective. And I also obviously have nothing else to do here. So we just simply play off the fact that we're getting control here, right? And we make a pick. Now, why did we make this pick in particular? Because we see numbers. And the big thing about uptime is that when our Azir gets caught here by the Ivan, the reason why it's bad for you to be on your Wolves here instead of the Scuttle, okay? The biggest difference between you being on Wolves here compared to being on the Scuttle Crab is that we are able to use our Azir's death, basically. You're able to use your team's pressure. So if my Azir gets caught here, I can trade Raptors and Scuttle, right? Rather than trading like my Wolf camp, which isn't a very good trade. I want to trade at least these camps here potentially, or I want to potentially trade the enemy team here on mid-wave, as you can see here, right? If my Azir gets caught here, I want to be here so I can kill mid, so I can trade something back. So that's what it's all about, guys. Again, you want to keep farming, of course, and I will show you guys what that looks like next, but we also want to play uptime, okay? So we play uptime here. We don't actually kill Caitlyn because I messed up. Shyvana hard champion, I guess. And so Azir then TP's mid or something. Yeah, something happens. And know when to just cut the play as well, guys. Like, know when it's over. Too many times do I see in coaching people hanging around, hoping the enemy team turns their Molotovs. No. You wanna int check, when the enemy team is making interesting plays, let them make the interesting play first. Okay, so here I'm just looking for the spoils of war. And now we get to the next thing, which is, again, this is a little bit, again, about just farming, like keep farming. So this is what we like to call downtime, okay? Downtime is when your team is basing, your team is coming back from base. And also for a Shyvana, downtime is just, you go and clear your camps now because our tempo lines are not synced. Okay, Mord again has TP. one more thing about this, okay? This is something that people get confused about downtime. Once there is nothing you can get, you can always go back to full clearing. Okay, so even if my team was all up on this line, if we have nothing we can get, so let's say we can't take camps, we can't take tower, and I also don't have ult, you can just clear your camps, okay? That is one thing I will say. Okay, so the very last thing here, as you can see, we take a base here. And this isn't really a great base, okay? You do have an excuse if you have an item. But the most important thing here is that you direct your team, okay? So ping effectively. So I just made a few pings here as I'm basing. Hey, back, okay? Let me show you guys. I'm basing here. I'm basing. I have my Death Dance. Very, very big item power spike. I'm just pinging danger. Look, caution. I'm not pinging it very much. I'm not spam pinging. I'm just saying, hey, don't do something right now, right? Just don't do a play. Again, I know what you guys are going to say. They don't listen to pings. But my response to that is even if they listen to it 5 out of 10 times, let's just say even 2 out of 10 times. 2 pings, very effective. Just back ping, show them what you're doing. That's it, okay? So try and be an IGL for your team. Try and ping the next objective. There's obviously more to this than this, right? Pinging what you want, effectively pinging. This is not really what this video is about, but now, step number 9. Your win condition and closing games out. So, we still have 2 Drakes. My primary goal here is to be as strong as possible for every single dragon spawn, okay? Every single dragon spawn, I want to be as strong as possible. So, you know, I'm doing a little bit here as well about pinging my team. So, look here. Once again, Ivan makes a play. The exact same situation as before when my Z was getting caught bot. You guys can see the same thing. Ivan makes a play here. So I skip all my camps. Do you see this, right? I'm skipping all my camps in this case to, if we go back just for a second, protect waves in the uptime, okay? In the uptime, we want to protect waves. We want to get a side of control. We want to maybe counter jungle his camps for showing top. In this case, it doesn't work out because the Xerath already cleared the wave. So we just get his flash, okay? So we get his flash. We walk in because, again, we still know we have numbers here. Again, Ivan's making a play here, guys. You got to make a play as well. If he makes a play top, you got to make a play somewhere, especially if you have ult. Make that trade play or play on your team getting caught here. So we just win a fight here because we have more numbers and I'm strong. Bit of an in flash, but now we get all the camps here. Again, we're getting so strong, guys. We're getting so strong. We check if as Xerath, we think, okay, this is not diveable. We don't have dragon anymore. We just farm. So take a look at how greedy this round is for me, okay? So as soon as the play is over, as soon as we feel like we can no longer get anything, we can't get towers, we can't get anything, and all my camps are spawning again. This is what I like to call a greed round, okay? So using downtime to farm and be greedy. So look here, I don't base here. I have 900 gold. So in the downtime, you're gonna have 2 options. If I have like 5k gold here, I'll base. If I have 1,000 gold, I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to utilize the fact that I am very, very strong in terms of like how fast I farm. I'm going to utilize that fact. However, that's the initial plan. However, something happens here. Okay? And we'll come back to this point in a second. But something happens, which is why you need to keep your eyes, like I said before, it's the exact same play. I don't know if you guys remember when they were diving mid. I'm still having my eyes open to certain things. So, you know, this is a little bit more fundamentally again. Okay, there's one person top, there's one person bot, so that makes it a 3v3 mid. I can be the diff here. Okay, and when I see Nautilus just walking in, that is an opportunity for me. Then Ivan shows ganking bot. Then we're like, okay, there's no way we can lose this now. It is now 3v2. We're going in. Okay, even if Ivan was here again, 3v3, we'll take that. So initially the idea is, okay, full clear. But then I see Nautilus making a mistake. And now we go back to what we just talked about, which is the greed round. We can't take anything more. We don't mess around, or we mess around here a little bit. Yeah, actually, no, never mind, sorry. We take the Drake because the Drake was spawning. That's what we were playing for here again, right? And now comes the downtime round. Now comes the greed round where we just farm instead of basing. And this thing is really, really good to do in the mid game to keep farming, okay? The very last point, close games out slowly, but the rest of the game, okay, guys, this is where we're going to kind of like conclude the video. The rest of the game is just a result of me being so much stronger than the enemy. Okay, being level 16, being 3 items compared with everyone else's 2 items. And it is a result of everything that we have done above here. Okay, this is the result. So the rest of the game, you know, we'll watch a couple fights. You know, again, have an objective in mind here with the Baron. We're looking for the Baron. We take the Baron. The enemy team comes and fights. We fight anyway because we're still so strong. I do have a lot of gold here, which is fine. You know, you can... Yeah, I have a lot of gold here, okay? Maybe this fight we should have based, but if you're feeling it, if you feel like you win anyway, we had pretty good scaling this game as well, I would say. That is part of it as well, guys. Like, if you have a Xayah and Senna and Jinx, you should kind of expect to maybe fall behind a little bit early game, right? Have that expectation of, yeah, if I have Kayle and these scaling kind of champions, it's okay to be down a little bit early as well, right? It's okay to just kind of weather the storm, as I like to say it. And this is about closing the game out slowly, right? Like, don't go here and push with your team here. Go and take the camps. Go and keep farming. Keep farming. Keep farming. You can see here, 236 CS at 25 minutes with a game when I have 3 losing lanes, guys. 3 losing lanes, but I'm staying up to, you know, 9 to 10 CS per minute. Then we take the base, and then we play uptime again. We come here for another fight. Again, protecting waves. Okay. Our Z gets caught. This is a little bit of downtime. This can be a little bit... I mean, I'm just too strong now, to be honest with you. I have 4 items, right? And I'm level 17. The power of the dragon. Not much to say here. We are still following those same things. When you have Baron, by the way, guys, you really want, when you're leaving the base here, so sorry to cut that clip, but when you're leaving base here with Baron, the number one thing that you want to think about. Again, so if you actually watch this fight, right, we still see people. One person here, one person here. I am going into a potential, because Jinx is dead, 2v3, but I'm so strong. When you have Baron, the number one thing that you want to do is push waves. Okay, push waves. Number one thing. If your team is already pushing a wave, go shadow him and go get vision here and go get camps and shadow him to make sure the waves push. But yeah, that's the most important thing. Just winning fights, the same thing repeating itself. We get soul. So that soul there, we get it, we win the fight, and we just end up winning the game, I think. I just run in. I'm just like so OP. It's actually ridiculous, guys. Ocean Soul Drake with 6 item Shyvana. Oh my goodness. I'm like unkillable. So again, I just wanna re-emphasize, guys. It's the result of everything. It's the result mainly of not being influenced by our team. That is a really, really important one. So if you're able to learn something from this video, leave a comment down below. Consider dropping a like, dropping a sub for future content so you don't miss any of this juicy educational content. And yeah, I'll see you guys all in the next one as we watch this game and we ride out the rest of this game. By the way, Shyvana's OP. Play Shyvana. Peace.